What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Negative Nicole, aka Country Girl in the building. And sticks and stones may break some bones, but these words may surely hurt you. The truth ain't always sweet, and it won't be sweet tonight. We late night creeping. We got another teacher out of Houston at a high school sleeping with another one of her students. And it could be multiple. Right now we have one. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna waste any time. It's so late. We're gonna go ahead and run through this. Let's start with a news report. Let's get into it. Removed from this campus in December, but the criminal trial. This is the second student within weeks. We have one more, but I want to go back to the first teacher that was arrested. The second one is only being accused at this time. This teacher has been arrested and charged with having a sexual relationship with her student. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is Sarah. Let's go. Didn't come until this month, and today, parents are now being notified of the accusations leveled against this former teacher who had been with the district for nearly 17 years. 47-year-old Sarah Suggs is charged with sexual assault of a child. She is accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a 15-year-old student. Police say the teen told them Suggs and he began talking last November. Suggs is accused of sending the boy sexually explicit messages, photos, and videos. Court documents read the teen told police they communicated by voice calls, text, videos, and Snapchat. In and around November, she was trying to meet up with him. She would say, "Want to meet up?" He stated it became irritated. It started off normal, but then became sexual. In December, it was like almost every day. Police say the boy's mother confronted him in December and then notified the school. Suggs was put on administrative leave in December. She resigned in January. Criminal charges were filed this month. The defendant, a teacher, abused her position of authority and groomed a 15-year-old student. Caroline Roberts is with Children at Risk. She can't comment on this case, but says parents can't assume children know what are appropriate lines of communication. Adults in your life should not be contacting you in inappropriate ways, especially on through very private means like texting. Roberts also says don't assume children know what are and are not appropriate topics of discussion with other adults, even those considered trusted. You kind of have to have clear and fast rules that if this comes up with a teacher, with another adult, come tell me, come talk to me. And she adds, tell your kids up front, you'll be monitoring their communication. So that it's not trust that's being broken, but that they know that this is just part of parenting. Suggs is due back in court April 8th, and her attorney had no comment on the charges. Reporting live from the Cypress area, Robert Arnold, KPRC2 News.
Robert, thank you. And as we were working on that story, KPRC2 learned about another teacher at Langham Creek High School who was also recently placed on leave. District officials tell us upon receiving notification of allegations of an improper relationship with Megan Weaver and a student, Weaver was removed from campus and placed on administrative leave pending a complete investigation. Cypher ISD officials provided no further detail.
Okay, this teacher was married with a husband. She kept calling him on one particular day. She was calling him like over and over. As you seen in the news report, he was like it became irritating. This student was 15 years old. Calling him back to back. At this time, he texted her and said, like, I got my friend over. We're playing Call of Duty. She said, get rid of him. The teacher comes over. Him and his friend gets in her car. She drops the friend off. They pull up at a dead end on the student street, the 15-year-old street, after dropping his friend off. They pull over and she begins to perform, oral on the student, kissing him. She also put hickeys on his neck. After coming home that day, the mom looked through the phone and she found text messages
Let me put a picture of the teacher up on the screen. She found text messages. There was some allegations of devil worshiping that concerned the mother. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but she did find some text messages that were concerning. So she reported it to the teacher, to the principal, and showed the principal. And that's when the investigation started. They suspended her, and later on, she was arrested. I mean, what do you think about a teacher and a student, a 15-year-old student having a relationship? I mean, for you women out there, do you think that you could teach a school and fall in love with a student? Do you think that that is possible? I don't know. When I think back when I was in high school, I remember a lot of teachers, um, young female teachers, male teachers as well. Male teachers used to always flirt. Like if you go home, if you ask your kids if teachers are flirting with kids or like something strange as far as a relationship, where teachers are catering more to certain students than others. That's happening. You know, you have like I've had one of my kids come home talking about how the teachers are flirting, with the young guys and actually having an attitude with the females that the young boys are dating. But no one will really believe that. And I don't know why, since this goes on a lot. Teachers are sleeping with kids, they are sleeping with their students more so than we know. This is happening a lot more. And we're going to get into a very good story as far as the Mary Kay story. A lot of us know about that story, and some of you don't. But we're definitely going to get into that story. It was pretty deep. They went all the way with it. Okay, so like there are situations like that. You have to understand that people are human. People make mistakes, and everybody's mind isn't wrapped tight. You have to understand that all of these kids aren't mature. I understand that there's an age limit, but what if there wasn't an age limit? In certain countries and stuff like that, you can marry a teenager at a young age with the approval of the parents. So, what does that say? Most people are only following the rules because it's law. If they could, they really would, because they're doing it and they can't. It's against the law and they're still breaking the rules. So you can imagine, just like a lot of men, they love younger women. A lot of guys, are pedophiles. They love younger women. You know, it's a thing where women can't get older. Men feel like if you're an older woman, like, they want a younger woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some of them, they get an 18-year-old like it's nothing. Okay, so if it was legal for her to be 14, would you go that far? You're only stopping at 18 because it's legal. A lot of people won't openly say that. So I think back to when I was a teenager, especially around the age of 14. I was very mature in my mind. Uh, had a crush on a teacher, never pursued it or anything like that. But if I wanted to, I could. And I feel like I would know exactly what I'm doing and what I wanted, even at a young age. I feel like even then, I kind of sort of had the mind of a grown woman. And it's a lot of females that are very, very mature. They can really seduce a man. And don't get it twisted. We just keeping it real here. These type of things happen. A young female can seduce a grown man. It's not right. Should he fall for it? No, he shouldn't fall for it. It's law. But I'm telling you, these things happen. So with females being so seductive at a young age, and they are having sex younger and younger and younger, guys are definitely having sex younger and younger and younger. Boys and stuff And it's a double standard when it comes to anything like that, because you have to think about it. A female, older man coming at a female, we really think that that's really, really bad. But a young boy, a lot of fathers, they approve. That's my boy. Oh yeah, my boy had a teacher. My boy messing with a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? That's like encouraging. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? They might not admit it, but that's what it is. That's what the world is today. And I know when I was 14, I had a thing with like 19-year-olds. And if I wanted them, I could have them. I wasn't sexually active at the time, but if I wanted them, I could have them. I would never lie about my age or anything like that, but my conversations with them over the phone was grown woman style. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I really knew what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it's just hard to be put in that type of situation. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just letting you know that these type of things can happen. These type of relationships can form on an accident sometimes. Yeah, it's not right. We should not allow it or anything like that. Trust me, I'm not taking up for these women. This is disgusting. I'm just letting you know. We all, when we think about these situations, we all have to go back and think on our childhood, how we really were. Were we just naive? You know what I'm saying? Like most of us, most children are, but not all. You have some adults that have childlike mind, and you have some children, some teenagers, let me say teenagers, some teenagers that think like grown people. They can handle business, handle money, they can handle love. You have some teenagers that get together in high school and they are together forever, but we'll tell them that this love is not going to last forever. This is going to be like puppy love. That's what we would tell them. Now, I don't know what happened between this teacher and this student. This teacher is married. This teacher is married. She's very old. I'm thinking what, 40s or something like that. How old was this teacher? I'm thinking she was like in her 40s or 50s, maybe, harassing this boy, calling him over and over and over again, you know, and you know how young guys are. They want to hit it. Let's keep it real. They want to hit it. They have no problem with having sex with an older woman at all. A lot of them don't have, they're lacking love from their moms, you know, and their dads. You have this teacher that is really caring for him and seeing to him and giving him a lot of attention. You know, like I said, on this particular day, he's playing Call of Duty. He has a friend over. She's calling and calling and calling. He's like, I mean, damn, like she's irritating, getting on his nerves. But if she was so irritating, you did not have to go. So I don't know if that's true or not. He ended up going. They dropped the friend off. She performed on him. Mom found out. Now this woman is facing charges. Let's go ahead and get into. Let me take this down. Let me take this down. Let's get into the second news report.
Creek High School teacher is now accused of having a sexual relationship with a student. We're talking.
And if you remember, they mentioned this teacher at the end. This is the same high school where they had already arrested Sarah. And they mentioned that they had another teacher under investigation, which was Megan Weaver, who is the teacher that we are about to talk about now.
It's a 31-year-old Megan Weaver used the school's messaging system to contact the male student. This comes just weeks after another teacher was charged with sexual assault of a child under 17. KPRC2's Sabira Rayford is live for us now at the school in Cypress with the latest on that investigation. Sabira.
Lauren, the parents and students I spoke with say the news is making them feel uneasy. One student who was in the teacher's class says she was always very friendly to the male students. It happened again. Another former Langham Creek High School teacher accused of having a sexual encounter with a student. Did you want to comment on the allegations against you right now? This time, Megan Weaver, a 31-year-old former English teacher. Okay, you don't have anything to comment on? She's accused of having sex with the student at her home. Now she's charged with improper relationship with the student. According to court documents, it happened around November 20th, but the school says they found out about the incident on March 23rd after a female student told her teacher there was, quote, a predator teacher having multiple affairs with students. A male student who was interviewed by investigators initially denied having a sexual relationship with Weaver. The court documents go on to show the 18-year-old student later told investigators Weaver kept calling him using Remind 101, a message system used by teachers. According to the records, he told investigators he would give Weaver compliments to let her know he was interested. The student says before Thanksgiving, he went to Weaver's house, they drank tequila and had sex. It's disgusting. Other students told investigators Weaver would have the boys hang out in her classroom. We spoke to a senior in her class.
She was friendly with everybody, especially with like all the guys.
Not that it matters. I think this student set her up. Let's not act like students don't have good enough sense and the smarts to set a teacher up. Now, one teacher had already been arrested. And then weeks later, this other teacher gets caught up. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. It could be, maybe not. But I believe that they set this teacher up. That's just my thoughts. Let's keep going. And maybe she fell for the okie doke.
Stuff. I kind of feel a little uncomfortable now because, like, now I'm thinking, like, what if that happens like again?
A spokesperson with the school district said that Weaver resigned on April 13th. We're reporting live at Cypress Severe Rayford, KPRC 2 News.
Yeah, because see, a female student came and said that it's a teacher, like pretty much at her bag, messing. Yeah, she definitely knew the risk she was taking. I mean, a teacher had already been arrested, so whether they set her up or not, she fell for the okie doke. A female student came to the principal, letting them know that it's a teacher at her bag sleeping with students. She didn't say one in particular. She said students. So when they first came to him, he said that nothing was going on. Ended up changing his story and whatnot. The night this occurred, let me see. Let me make sure I'm straight on this. Let me get this report. I don't have a picture of her because she hasn't been arrested. She's only been accused of this right now. And her name is Megan Marie Worry. Let's see. It says, he said it was before Thanksgiving in 2021. He stated that when she called, she was allegedly drunk and had gotten into a fight with her husband. According to documents, the student said that that is the night they set the date for him to go over there to her home. He said the next day Weaver called him and told him that he cannot tell anyone about the phone call, but she allegedly kept calling him through Remind 101, which is the app that teachers and students communicate and parents communicate back and forth with the teacher for work or grades or anything like that. He said at this point, Weaver invited him to her home. He said when he went to Weaver's home, she initially told him, I have one rule, no sex. Records show, he said they started drinking tequila. After a few drinks later, she told him, okay, one kiss, which led to the two of them having sexual intercourse in her bedroom. I don't know where the husband was at this time. During the investigation, the student's phone bill showed numerous calls from October 30th through December 21st between Weaver and the student, according to court records. So, they're seeing these phone calls going back and forth. Was she talking to him about sex or was she talking to him about homework? I mean, who knows? Several other students were interviewed about Weaver's relationship with the student, where they also stated that Weaver would have the boys hang out in her classroom. Record shows. Investigators say they had enough evidence to file charges against Weaver. So it's some things in here that, we really don't know. Upon receiving notification of the allegations of an improper relationship between Megan and a student, Ms. Weaver was removed from campus and placed on administrative leave pending a complete investigation. Ms. Weaver has not been arrested. So at this point, she hasn't been arrested. She's still been accused. But as a female student said, she shows special attention to the boys. They're always in her classroom after school, laughing and talking and whatnot. That's a red sign there. I know as a teacher, you try to build a relationship with your students. You know what I'm saying? But if you're only keeping the boys after school, the females, they're going to notice that. They're going to notice that. Keep a couple of females after school as well. You're a female teacher. That's like a male teacher only keeping the teenage girls after school. I mean, come on now. We're going to look at that. So I don't know what's going on with these teachers, but this is my thing. When kids act out at school, the first thing they do, what's going on at home? What's going on at home? Now, what's going on at school? Okay? Because it's not always the parents. What's going on at school? Now, I send my child to school and you're up there having sex with. That can really mess up a young kid's mind. Some of them. Now, as much as we don't want to believe it, some of our teenagers are smarter than us. Some of our teenagers are more mature than us. Does it mean that you lay down and have sex with them? No, it don't. You have to follow the rules. Is it right? No. But let's take accountability that things happen. It can happen. People can get caught up with a student. As hard as it might be to swallow, let's not act like these type of relationships can happen. Now, I don't see myself being a teacher falling for a student. Come on now. I at least wait till he 18, like the men do. Yeah. Excuse me, y'all. I'm over here drinking, having a little smoke. But anyway, let's, moving on. Let's get into Mary Kay. This is a story. Maybe you have a better understanding what I'm talking about. This is a story that pretty much disgusted the world. Now, in this case right here, we're talking about 15, maybe 16-year-old boys. But in Mary Kay's case, this was a 12-year-old boy. Mary Kay was playing no games.
Mary Kay Letourneau could walk out of a Washington state prison any time now. She's the former school teacher who had an affair with a student, Vili Falau. The relationship that began when the boy was just 12 years old resulted in 2 pregnancies, and for Letourneau, a 7-year sentence for child rape. The big question now is, what's next for both of them? Greg Olson is the author of the book, If Loving You Is Wrong, and Ann Bremner is an attorney who met with Letourneau in prison just last week. And good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Ms. Bremner, let me start with you, since you've just seen Ms. Letourneau. What are her hopes for the future? Does she hope to get back with Vili?
She's always said this was a love story. I don't think that's ever changed. Ultimately, I would think.
This is crazy. This woman had a whole husband. Matter of fact, all of the teachers that I have talked about tonight had husbands. They had that meat at the house. They had wood at the house. Grown men wood at the wanted the boys. They wanted the boys. And Mary Kay went the youngest of them all, the youngest that we know so far as a teacher sleeping with a student, 12 years old. She was in it, and she was in it deep. She was in it so deep to the point of leaving her husband and having no cares about it. No cares about her husband or the 4 kids that she had with her husband. This 12-year-old boy meant that much to her. Was she a predator? Did she have a mind of a 12-year-old? They say that this was a good student. All of the parents loved her. The children loved her. She was good at her job and what she did. Is this an illness? Is this a sickness? Mental illness? What's really good? Let's keep going though.
I think that would be what she wants to do, but she wants to be very careful because there's a no contact order in place right now for life. And she's going to abide by what the judge has ordered. And it's up to Billy Falau to try and lift that order with the court. It's for life.
You have spent some time, Mr. Olson, with Billy Falau. What's your indication? Does he want to reestablish a relationship with her? Will he lift that no contact order?
Although he hasn't done so yet, and he's had many years to do so, he could have gone to the judge at any time. He hasn't. But he does say he does want a future with her. He does at least want to talk to her and figure out what's next for them because they have 2 kids to raise.
Even though there has been a no contact order, she has violated that order on numerous occasions. She has sent several.
Okay, so they have 2 kids. And I was wondering, how did this happen? Because she was sentenced to like 6 or 7 years. But I think like the first time she was sentenced to 6 months. They had a baby then. And I guess they found out they were together or something like that and gave her 6, 7 more years or something like that. But she had already gotten pregnant because the kids are like 1 or 2 years apart. So she didn't care about going to prison. Like, this was worth it to her. Period. She couldn't stay away.
Letters from prison and audio tapes.
That's right. And most early part of her incarceration, I don't know that she sent anything recently.
What were the nature of those letters?
They were really kind of disturbing, actually. They were, begging him to go to the judge to get this no contact order lifted, telling him, that he would benefit from their relationship. She'd get
What? He get a mansion? That's something to think about. This boy's what, 12, 13 years old? I don't know how old he is at the time. She's locked up. Maybe he's like 14 or 15, and you're talking about, mansion and money. Let's keep going.
when she could to try to coax him into lifting that order, and he never did.
Let me check back in with you, Ms. Bremner, because he did not reply to any of her letters. He has not lifted that contact order. What's been her reaction to that lack of response from him?
He ain't got to respond. She's locked up. She's an old lady that's locked up. She's not going anywhere. She's not doing anything. See, as a kid, as a teenager, he still has enough game to know that he could just wait for her to get out and respond and sign the papers that need to be signed. If he's still feeling that. If he see her when she get out and he feel like, oh, okay, she still look pretty all right or whatever, and he's going to benefit for it. He doesn't have to write her or show any interest the whole time, because you have to understand this woman is begging him. And at that age, even me, at 14 or 15, I already know I got the game. I'm winning. I have the control. And that when she gets her old ass out, she's still going to want to be with me. So I don't have to write or respond or anything like that at the time. You see what I'm saying? Maybe y'all didn't have that type of game when y'all was young. But I'm telling you, I did. But let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, I tried a civil case where he and his mother sued the police department and school district for failing to protect him from Mary Kay Letourneau. And even in that case, we argued that nothing would keep the two of them apart. This was only 2 years ago. And, she was 5 years into her sentence. And during that, he said, he wasn't sure about love. He seemed to still love her. and even said there could be a pay-per-view wedding in the future. It was kind of a question I asked in jest, but he said.
See what I'm saying? He already thinking money. What? Why would he be? He's not having any contact with her. So in his little young mind, pay-per-view wedding, that's money. You know what I'm saying? Cloud chasing. You know what I'm saying? He still got that game in his mind. At the same time, he's not writing or responding to her because he knows that regardless, she's giving up her husband and her 4 kids. She's gonna be there if he decides to be with him when she gets out. Are you keeping up? Are you understanding?
There could be. So it's clear from what he's been saying for many, many years that there's some interest there. In fact, there's probably love, and this has always been a love story to both of them, including in my civil case.
Their 2 children have been raised by his mother. Will she seek custody of those children?
Mary has 6 children, as you know. And
Yes, she has 4 children by her former
Right.
husband.
She does, and she has 2 children with Billy Falau, who are being raised by his mom and his mom's sister. She sees him in prison. She wants to be involved with him in the future, and I think it would be great if they could all work something out without this going into the courts, as this case has been in the courts for many years.
You are shaking your head to this. Why?
I think there will be a battle over this. I think Mary will want those children. She will want to raise them to show the world that this was a love story and this was all good. Suna Pulau and her family have done a great job raising these kids, and I don't think Suna will let them go, and she said so. She said in court 2 years ago, I'm not giving these children up.
What has his life been like over the last 7 years? Because we've heard reports of struggles with substance abuse. He entered into this adult relationship and fatherhood at a very young age.
Yeah, I think people kind of forget that. He was 12 years old when this thing started, 13 when the specs happened. He's been rootless. He didn't graduate from high school. He does not have a job. He's living with friends or living with his mother. I mean, he's clearly been waiting for his life.
Exactly. He's like, graduate from high school for what? 12 years old. He's out there. I don't know if they were saying that he was doing drugs and whatnot, but if I get out and when she gets out, I'm gonna have a mansion, some money, and whatnot. I'm gonna get the cloud chase on this whole love story of me being a student and my teacher having a sexual relationship with me. We have 2 kids. Come on now. It's a book. That's a movie. We going up. Graduate for what? This is what he's thinking at this age. At this age, this is what he's thinking. I mean, if you ever sat down and actually talked to a teenage child, your own teenage child, if you got a cool relationship where they could talk to you freely instead of holding back, and you know where their mind really, really is, you learn something. I'm not saying this shit is right. Don't get it twisted. But let's keep going.
Life to start, and that will happen when Mary gets out of prison on Wednesday.
I mean, Ms. Bremner mentioned a pay-per-view wedding. Is this publicity something that Mary Kay Letourneau embraces? What's your best guess as to what will happen here?
My thought is Mary is very shrewd about the media. She knows to get her message out there. She knows she can pick up the phone and call anybody at any time and get her story out there. I think she'll tell her story. I think we'll see a book, maybe a movie even, or something like that. She wants the world to know she served those 7 years for love.
And what about you, Ms. Bremner? What do you think will happen down the road here?
Well, I saw Mary as recently as a week ago, and I think she's in a position now where she wants to do the right thing by her children. I think she's circumspect about everything that's happened. I would like to see her move forward in a good way for those kids. So that's my hope. There's so much media in this case. I mean,
By the way, I don't know if you guys seen their daughters. I was gonna put a clip in here about their daughters. I just didn't. They have some beautiful daughters. They do. They're just keeping it real. They actually look more like their father, but they are very beautiful girls. They seem to be very, very mature as well. And the question was asked, what if their daughters was sleeping with a teacher? And they answered the question. I think that we'd feel like any other parents would feel. You know, we'd have a problem with it. You know, so they definitely knew it was wrong. You know, people do things that are wrong every day. You know, was this really a love story where she couldn't help it? Some people say that her mind was like a 12-year-old. I don't know. Did her husband peep that? I don't know. Let's keep going.
When I tried the civil case, there was, in the criminal case, there was, and there's even more now. The case is like, it gets curiouser and curiouser. There's always some new twist. And so I think that there's going to be media attention regardless of whether she seeks it out, like Grace says, you know.
And Brenda, Greg Olson, thank you so much for your insights today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we hear about these stories, I know they're bad. I know it's upsetting. But sometimes you have to look at the whole picture whether you want to or not. You have to think about when you were a teenager what your mind was like. A lot of teenagers aren't slow. You know, a lot of them are advanced. You have geniuses, and not saying that they were. I mean, you know, I don't think this kid was a genius, and I don't think she was all the way right rap type, but she was definitely a good teacher. Probably a loving and a good wife before she was his teacher, before she fell for him. And how this happened, I don't know. Maybe she saw something in him. Some teachers, you know, maybe teaching and educating him, she got closer to him, feeling like he needed extra help, he needed extra love, and he got to talking to her about personal things, and it began to get deeper. Hey, me or you, we aren't in that situation. And like I said, it's not right. We have rules that we have to follow. But in some countries, this is okay. Does it make it right? No. Like I say, we have to follow the rules. But you have to think. Like I said, when I was a teenager, I could most definitely get what I wanted. And I remained a virgin because I wanted to be a virgin. But I still talked to older guys. We still dated. I still blew their minds and could get them to do pretty much anything that I wanted. I was running things as a 14-year-old. I was in charge as a 14-year-old. And I knew that. They did anything I wanted. I'm just letting you know the power of a teenager that has a mature mind. Maybe you understand, maybe you don't. Once again, I didn't say this shit was right. I'm not giving an excuse for the shit. Because I wouldn't do it myself if I was a teacher. I wouldn't date a student. You know? And they say never. But check this clip out. We're almost about to end it.
Mary Kay Letourneau, who received national infamy after raping her student and then later marrying him, has died of cancer at age 58. We have now learned that Vili Fualau, the student who she later married, was by her side when she passed. Our Kayla Lafferty spoke with her lawyer and has the story.
I did something that I had no right to do.
Mary Kay Letourneau became an international household name in the late 90s when she pleaded guilty to raping her 12-year-old Shorewood Elementary School student, Vili Fualau. David Gerke was Letourneau's attorney.
We were friends before, not good friends, but once she pled guilty, she was automatically confined until the end of whatever her sentence was. So I visited her a lot during the 6 months.
Letourneau gave birth to Fualau's child while in jail. The two were married in 2005, just after.
That picture look crazy, don't it? Like he just, like he, you know, her son or something. Like he just a little boy. You know, I can't be attracted to that as a grown woman, me personally. But, you know, let's keep going.
Letourneau was released from prison. They spent over a decade together and had 2 children.
What she did was illegal. She committed a crime. And that's kind of become what the focus is online right now. A lot of people posting about, you know, she raped a child. So what is your response to that?
I do believe it was a love story. And I tell everybody.
You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people was against this. Mostly everybody was against this. But you have this man up here saying he believes it was a love story. That's kind of crazy. This boy was 12 years old. Now, I don't know about that. You know, I'll give 14 a better chance at it than I would 12. You know, like 9, 10, 11, 12. That's kind of crazy. We're not even We can't even put a team behind it, like 13. You know, we talking 12, but hey, to each their own, and let's keep going.
She needed to go to prison for it. She had the duty as an adult to be the adult, and she failed in that.
Right.
The student who she later married was
Right. He's pretty much saying the same thing I was saying. She deserved to go to prison. She did. She had a duty, you know. She did. She was the teacher, and that just shouldn't have happened. She deserved to go to jail. He is saying that, but at the same time, as him saying that she deserved to go to jail, he's believing that it was a love story. Let's keep going.
Pedophile or things like that, I will argue against for a long time.
Foulal and Letourneau separated in 2017, but Gerke says Foulal was by her side the day she died.
Billy came back when he got the news and when she got really bad, and the last 2 months was with her 24/7, taking care of her.
Now, was he by her side? You know, did he get any money when she passed away? Is what I would want to know. You know, the reasons they divorced, I have no idea. Maybe you guys can look it up if you want to get deeper into the story. But they did separate. They were together almost forever, you know, and you got to think about it. People two adults get together and they love each other for damn near ever, and they get divorced. So this relationship lasted longer than most of us. You know what I'm saying? Was it a love story?
They were still in love.
In Des Moines, Kayla Lafferty, King 5 News.
Meanwhile, Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best reacted to Letourneau's death on Twitter late last night, then later deleted her tweet. The tweet yesterday, the chief replying to the New York Times about the tweet about Letourneau, which included her rape charge, and Best wrote, "Sad about this, RIP." We reached out to Chief Carmen Best for a comment, and a spokesperson told us that the chief in no way supports what Mary Kay Letourneau did, but she tweeted the message because she is sad for her family's loss. She later deleted it because she did not want anyone to misunderstand her intent.
It's okay to rip that woman and she's gone. It was nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I don't think it was anything wrong with her saying what she said at all. For you guys that want to dig deeper into it or want to watch a good movie tonight, because once I get off of here, I'm definitely going to watch the Mary Kay movie. I'm going to get into the clip now. Let's go.
What kind of relationship did you have with Mrs. Letourneau?
A highly respected elementary school teacher.
Did you have sex with Mrs. Letourneau?
He is charged with rape.
Mrs. Mary Letourneau?
Yes.
You're under arrest for rape of a child.
In the true story that shocked the world.
She's an unrepentant pedophile, Charles. We're going for the maximum sentence.
She was an all-American girl.
No one could ever live up to my dad. Until Billy.
The mother of 4 children.
They're telling me that I have to tell my own children? I am not a child molester.
Regardless of how he looks, Billy is 13 and the law doesn't care.
And a role model to her students.
She was a great teacher. Parents used to fight to get their kids into her class.
And she had sex for 8 months with a 13-year-old boy, resulting in a baby.
But behind her flawless appearance.
My marriage was a disaster.
Is someone in there with you?
Friend of mine?
Who's this lady to you?
A teacher.
Was a very troubled woman.
You're a teacher. How could you have sex with a student?
What do you think about an older woman being with a younger man?
Acting unforbidden love.
That boy is so in love with you.
What triggered it?
I needed the relationship.
With complete disregard for the law.
Not to ever, no matter how someone questions you, tell them about it.
She fell in too deep.
That kid is going to be trouble for you.
Why are you afraid?
It's you. You're just scared.
You think I haven't done this before?
And lost everything.
You are not allowed unsupervised contact with minors, including your own children. We've talked to Steve, and we think that you need to spend time alone.
He can't take my children.
In a case that captivated a nation.
Well, no one wants to talk about what this is really about.
Which is?
We're soulmates. Nothing can keep us apart.
World International Network and Grosso Jacobson Productions bring you
We're linked forever in this child.
the true tale of obsessive love that could not be denied.
If people knew the truth, if they knew how much we love each other.
Penelope Ann Miller of The Last Dawn and Carlito's Way, and Academy Award winner Mercedes Rule of The Fisher King and Frasier.
Please.
In All-American Girl, Mary Kay Letourneau.
Yep, and there it is, guys. All-American Girl. I will be looking at that as soon as I get up off of here. Once again, this is Sarah, a teacher out of Houston, along with another teacher who I will not put up her picture because she's only being accused right now. These teachers have been involved with students allegedly a couple of weeks apart. They arrested Sarah, and they have another teacher. Her name is Megan Marie Weaver. She is now being accused with the same act as Sarah. You know, this is crazy. This is out of the same high school in Houston. You know, as I said before, you know, these older women, these teachers, they were married. Guys tend to, when women is old, it's like women can't grow old. We can't grow old. A lot of guys, you know, it's like don't ask a woman her age. You know, why is it don't ask a man their age? I mean, some women don't like older men. You know, it's always a thing when women get older. You know, like they're not attractive or they're too old because men tend to go for the younger women, the younger females. You know, but the younger guys, they love older women. They love them. So when you're not getting attention at home, is it okay? You know, does does love have a number? Is it like age ain't nothing but a number? You know, what is it? I mean, me as a teacher, I wouldn't date a student, but a younger guy is all right. I would not date a student. No, this is not okay. I would not want my son engaging in a relationship with a teacher. Do I think he can handle it? I think he can handle it. I think he's mature enough to handle it. Is it right? No, it's not. I would not want that. I would definitely be furious. It'll be a problem. Might whoop her ass. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion on a situation. You can tune in and get involved and comment, you know, like and share. I'm just starting out. I haven't got to the point where I'm setting times on when I'm a drop a story or something like that. I just pop in and pop out. You know, if you have any suggestions on what's a good time for me to drop, should I do it once a week? Should I do it twice a week? Should I do it 3 times a week or all day through the day? You know what I'm saying? Am I okay with what I'm doing now? Just tune in, like, subscribe, and definitely share to get it out there. I want to pay attention. I'm trying to pay attention to my first viewers that are on my page supporting me because once I start giving out that cash money, the ones that supported me first, I need to bless their game. Anyways, I'm about to be up out of here. And like I said, I don't know. Was she right? Was she wrong? Are they right? Are they wrong? You know, who knows? Like I said, I'm about to get off of here and watch the Mary Kay. If you haven't seen it, you don't know about the story, you want to get familiar with it, maybe you need to go ahead and tune in. It's a good watch. I'm gone.